This is Autoline Daily, the show dedicated to enthusiasts of the global automotive industry. We've got first quarter sales numbers for most automakers in the U.S. market, and they don't look good. Of those that have reported so far, only Stellantis and the Hyundai Group reported an increase in sales. But do keep in mind that's compared to a strong quarter from a year ago when people were rushing out to buy a car before the tariffs kicked in. And we still haven't seen sales from Ford, Volkswagen, Mercedes, or Volvo. However, we've seen enough to know that the industry is off to a rough start. And with a war going on and gas prices sharply higher, it's probably not going to get better anytime soon. Tesla doesn't break out its sales by region, but it sold over 358,000 vehicles globally, up more than 6% compared to last year. And they were up nearly 9% in China, which we know because the China Passenger Car Association publishes those numbers. But Tesla's total sales were down compared to the fourth quarter, and they came in under expectations. So the stock was down this morning more than 4% in pre-market trading. So have higher gasoline prices pushed more consumers into electric cars? We'll have to wait until all the automakers report their sales numbers to know for sure. But here's some of what we know so far. Rivian reported its sales shot up almost 20%, which was quite a bit better than analysts expected. Toyota says the all-electric BZ and Lexus RZ were up 149 and 171% respectively, though the numbers are still quite small. And while Chevrolet posted a 30% drop in EV sales, Cadillac posted an 18% gain. In fact, 30% of all Cadillacs sold in the first quarter were electric, which bodes well for the brand. The Alliance for Automotive Innovation, which represents most major automakers in the U.S., wants to scrap the federal gas tax and replace it with a vehicle fee to pay for road repairs. The federal gas tax, which is currently 18.4 cents per gallon, hasn't been raised since 1993. And with vehicles becoming more fuel efficient and EVs becoming more popular, gas tax revenue hasn't kept up with highway maintenance needs. Since 2008, more than $275 billion has been shifted away from the general fund to pay for road repairs. So the Alliance is proposing to impose a single fee on every vehicle based on weight. It says the current tax is unfair to owners of older, less fuel-efficient vehicles and to those who drive long distances since they pay more. There's also a proposal in the U.S. House to impose a $250 annual fee on EVs and a $100 fee on hybrids to help pay for road repairs. But that bill is being criticized as unfair to EV drivers since the average gas-powered vehicle pays just $88 a year in federal gas taxes. And we have an interview with Consumer Reports that takes a deep dive into the issue. It's available for our YouTube and Patreon members to watch right now, and it will be available for everyone to watch this weekend.
Knowing that a little rain won't slow down your day, that's what really matters. Bridgestone Turanza Quiet Track tires, confident control in wet conditions.
Last week, Hyundai announced that it will introduce 36 new models into the North American market by 2030. And with that many new vehicles, it almost had to expand into new segments. And we now know that will include mid-size pickup trucks. It revealed the Boulder concept, which is an SUV, but it's meant to be a design preview of what we can expect from the new truck, which is scheduled to launch at the end of the decade. The model will be designed, developed, and built in America, and it will debut the brand's first ever fully boxed body-on-frame platform. Last year, Hyundai announced a partnership with GM, which, among other things you may remember, includes joint development of an all-electric van and mid-size pickups. The original announcement said those trucks are going to Central and South America, but we think GM could be involved in these U.S. pickups as well. When asked about a possible link, a Hyundai spokesperson responded, quote, "At this time, the company has not made any decisions regarding potential partnerships related to the development of these North American-bound body-on-frame Hyundai vehicles. Beyond those previously announced programs, Hyundai continues to explore potential areas of collaboration with GM and will share additional details as the partnership progresses. Mercedes revealed it just completed final winter tests of its upcoming Mercedes-AMG GT four-door coupe. This is noteworthy to us because the model will feature axial flux, or what are also called Pancake motors. Developed by a company called YASA, they only weigh 28 pounds, but are capable of making over 1,000 horsepower. The magnets and coils inside an axial flux motor are much closer together, and there's a much larger surface area for them to interact. That leads to those impressive power densities. However, YASA estimates the continuous power output would be more in the range of 470 to 535 horsepower. But the new Mercedes-AMG GT four-door coupe will have 3 of these motors on tap, which should offer some pretty impressive performance. We'll learn just how impressive when the model makes its debut in a few weeks. Subaru pulled the wraps off the Getaway, an all-new electric 3-row SUV. While it's based on the same stretch version of Toyota's eTNGA architecture as the new Highlander EV, the Getaway's standard all-wheel drive system puts out a lot more power than the dual-motor Toyota, 420 versus 338 horsepower. 2 battery sizes are available, 77 and roughly 96 kilowatt hours, which can provide more than 300 miles of range. The Getaway launches in the US late this year, but no word on pricing yet. Despite being the grandson of the company's founder, Akio Toyoda refers to himself as, quote, the president that no one wanted when he took over that role in 2009. But since that time, the company has transitioned to an executive appointment meeting to discuss executive changes, including the president. And even though Akio is now chairman of Toyota, he says he wasn't involved at all in the decision to replace President and CEO Koji Sato with CFO Kenta Kan. And it sounds like Sato, who's now vice chairman and chief industry officer, wasn't ready to give up his previous roles. When asked about his 3-year term compared to Akio's 13 years, Sato said, quote, honestly, I do think it's short. Our Autoline automotive stock of the day yesterday was Pony.ai, the Chinese robotaxi company, which was up 9.5%. You may remember that we reported it turned the corner in the fourth quarter of last year and posted a net profit, and investors clearly think the company is headed to better times. But that's a wrap for this show. Don't forget to tune in to Autoline After Hours at 3 p.m. Eastern Time today, and I hope to see you there.
Autoline Daily is brought to you by Bridgestone, Solutions for Your Journey, CSP, the Composites Solution Partner, Intrepid Control Systems, over-the-air engineering, boost your game, and thanks to the following YouTube and Patreon members.
At Intrepid, we produce network hardware and software solutions, enabling vehicle manufacturers to innovate and design the next generation of modern mobility. Delivering scalable next-generation solutions requires thorough testing and validation of vehicle platforms. Intrepid's NeoVi cloud platform helps manufacturers quickly identify diagnostic trouble codes and defects by pinpointing which vehicles have specific software versions. This allows them to isolate non-compliant vehicles in real time using analytics, part numbers, DTCs, and organized, secure, cloud-based data. All of these steps ensure vehicles are cleared for production and ready for the road, taking your fleet testing into the future of mobility. Intrepid Control Systems, driven by your data.
At CSP, we work with OEM engineers across the country on their journeys to lighter, safer, and more eco-friendly vehicles. Learn more at thecsp.com.